Do calories matter? This is sort of an interesting topic and something I love reading about. A new book came out called The Calorie Myth, and I'm going to pick it up. I haven't picked it up yet, but the one thing that comes to mind when it comes to nutrition is obviously the diets, dieting, low carb diets, and fad diets, paleo diet, being a vegetarian, a vegan, counting calories, not counting calories, counting your macros. There's a freaking buttload of stuff out there on how you should eat to lose weight. And I just want to talk about just some philosophies and some thoughts that that are out there because I like digging into science and listening to what other people have to say, like other experts and stuff like that. And essentially, it just seems like there are kind of like two camps when it comes to fat loss and weight loss. There is the calories in, calories out camp, and then there's the kind of low carb food quality camp. Just think of it like paleo, staying away from processed foods. I kind of have like a happy medium opinion of kind of all the blends of diets and nutrition, but I kind of want to clarify some things of what we really know as far as science is concerned. Because a lot of the things that say anything that calories don't matter are kind of, they're a little misleading. In my opinion, they are. The people that say calories don't matter may not be misleading. They don't purposely try to mislead people or mislead you, but they are they have an opinion and they're very biased. And calories do matter. They matter because that's the only thing that we really know and understand, energy. We know that energy can't be destroyed. It's either used or not used, or it's either used or lost. It's used somewhere. So when you gain weight, it's because there's an energy surplus. Calories are higher than the calories going out. Now, this can be affected by the types of food you eat to varying degrees, but not to a point where it can make a difference of, 1,500 calories, for example. If you eat 1,000 calories of the wrong food, you're still probably going to lose weight. There are a few instances where and if you don't lose weight, so if you don't lose weight on 1,000 calories a day, it's because you're not eating 1,000 calories a day. You're lying, or you're off, or you don't do it long enough. It could be different water fluctuations. You could have a medical condition. There are a lot of different things that factor weight, but understand that the only thing that we truly understand when it comes to fat loss is calorie restriction. Now, the way we go about calorie restriction or cutting calories and can be done in different manners. You can log your food in a journal. You can prepare all your meals, stay under your numbers. You can count your carbs. You can count your fats. You can count all your proteins, whatever. And the thing to understand when it comes to a lot of these programs and recommendations from trainers and experts and books and stuff, what they really do is what they're trying to, they're trying to get you to change your behavior so you get a specific result, typically meaning changing body fat, changing weight, changing composition. The thing to understand is that you have to understand the context in which the information is given. Because for a lot of people, a low carb approach, or for some people, a low carb approach is not going to be good just because of energy demands of high intensity exercise. Same goes for people who don't exercise. Do they eat a lot? Can they eat carbs and not get fat or gain weight? And yes, they can. It's just understanding that the context in which the information is provided, which makes things a little confusing because one person might be talking to people who are in really shape, who work out a lot, and there might be someone who's talking to people who just don't work out a lot, who are very sedentary. And it's kind of understanding and distinguishing those two. That's kind of why it's important that you have a balanced approach when it comes to nutrition. I used to be really big in the paleo, and I still am. I like the paleo diet, but at the same time, completely eliminating bread and rice or out of my diet is kind of impossible for my lifestyle. It's not impossible. It's just impossible for my lifestyle. It's just kind of how it is. I like bread, it's enjoying life is part of lifestyle. And I don't have any particular negative consequences from eating lots of carbohydrates if I work out. So it's kind of like one of those things. Like if I cut carbs out of my diet, I will definitely get leaner. I do notice that. But it's just understanding those things. So kind of what I wanted to continue to talk about, I've kind of running out of steam here of what I wanted to talk about, but it's that, that's what I was going to say. If you cut carbs, you automatically cut calories. If you cut protein, you automatically actually, for most people, this is probably about, I don't know, maybe 80, 90%, definitely more than half the population. If you make people eat more protein, they're going to eat less calories. That's just usually what's going to happen. If you get people to cut carbohydrates, they're going to eat less calories. That's just what's going to happen. Why? Because carbohydrates tend to spur appetite. That's usually what happens. People cheat by eating higher fat foods, which is not necessarily a bad thing because a low carb diet is by default a higher fat diet. But you start eating like too much nuts, too much fatty cuts of meat, too much fat in general, you end up eating too many calories. And you don't lose weight, or you end up gaining weight. Most people don't get enough protein. Protein is extremely satiating. So because protein is so satiating, it's going to make you eat less calories. It's just that's how it works. If you eat like protein shakes, that's kind of like a loophole that doesn't quite work the same way, but it has a similar effect. It makes it so that you eat less food. And then fat in the right amount. Fat is interesting because it can go both ways. Like if you have too much fat in your diet, you can overeat. If you have too little fat in your diet, you can overeat, because if you eat too little fat, you'll tend to eat more carbs, which will cause you to eat more food in general. If you eat higher fat, sometimes it'll help. What it'll do is it'll make you more satiated, make you more full. But if you add too many carbs in there, anyways, it's kind of like a little fine motor thing here. Your body. That's why it's important that you really understand your body and kind of what you best respond to, because not everyone responds to the same thing as far as not just weight loss, but overall how you feel, energy levels, feelings of being full, being satisfied with your food, all those kind of things. They play a big factor. Being allergic to something, food intolerances. These are things you won't really realize. That's kind of why for a lot of people that I train and people I work with, I want them to journal their food, because it's really the only thing that really helps people really get better at doing something as far as when it comes to weight loss. When it comes to like following a menu plan, now I can pretty much spit out any menu plan for anybody, but the problem is most people don't follow that. They don't follow it because unless you have something pressing, something that's motivating to really stick to like a menu plan, most people are not going to follow a menu plan. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow a menu plan. I'm just saying for a good percentage of the population, you're just not going to follow a menu plan. So people say, well, if I put all these foods on my menu, and it's like committing to certain kinds of foods. Again, it's a habit, and you got to prepare all your meals for the week. I guess there is nothing wrong with it. Again, it's just a matter of preference. But I guess my main topic is, do calories matter? Yes, they do matter. How much do they matter? They matter more when you're eating garbage, to be totally honest. When you eat a lot of highly palatable food that tastes really good, that's when they kind of matter the most, because that's what actually will make you eat more calories. So when you kind of do the paleo approach, you eat more whole foods, you're going to stay full and you just won't overeat. It's what's going to happen. If you eat a lot of vegetables and fruits and lots of meats, green leaf, lots of fiber, tubers like potatoes and stuff like that, carrots, you're just not going to eat a whole lot of calories. But if you eat like hamburgers with bread, and you eat like ice cream and cookies and crackers and protein bars, stuff like that, it's going to cause you to eat more food. So, in a sense, that's just all it is. Most diets are systems for following certain calorie amount. Let me start over. Diets are sort of systems for changing food to influence caloric consumption. That's kind of all there is. Whether it be like I was listening to a favorite podcast of mine, Barbell Shrugged, and they were talking about the zone diet, right? And I've heard Rob Wolf talk shit about that, or just be very condescending about it. And again, they're just systems for managing nutrition. If you really think about it, at the end of the day, it's having one good day of eating is not going to make a dramatic impact on your health. Just like having one bad day of eating is not going to have a dramatic impact on your health. That's kind of why it's important that you have a balanced approach when it comes to nutrition, because it's something you need to be consistent with your whole life or every day. And that's kind of what I do. I just have a balanced approach. I try to make sure I eat enough so that I feel good. I try not to, if I eat bad foods, I try not to eat so much of it. I just try to mitigate damage. I always say that to people. Let's mitigate damage. So anyways, I hope you liked this video. I hope you got some information from it. I kind of went almost 10 minutes here, a 10-minute video. If you watch this video and you're still watching it, thank you. That means you are enjoying what I'm talking about. You like the content I'm creating. If you could please click like. It really would help me out, because it really does help get me more views. It also allows me to get more subscribers. Share this video with someone if you think it'll help them. Share it on your Facebook wall. Thanks for watching.